Oh, is it doing the music?
Where's the music?
Where's the music? Oh, man. What an anticlimactic thing. All right, we're going to hide that. And it says we're live.
Yeah.
No, we are live. We have been live just a little bit here.
Oh, okay.
We're questions. Feel free to refer them to me, and I'll sort you out.
Yeah, Dave's my technical expert.
I can handle the chat.
Okay. Oh man. Well, you got to turn the volume off on it. Every time Max tries to monitor the chat, he always has the volume on, so then we start hearing ourselves again.
Yes.
Well, welcome, gentlemen, and welcome everybody to
the live edition of
the Berm Limits podcast
with special guests Garry Marr and
the Dave Biggers experience.
The whole experience.
All of it.
You guys have known me for a while, and so I don't think that we need to be that formal. So you can just call me Dave.
The Dave.
The Dave experience.
We don't have to use the full last name.
Just the experience.
No. Let's not go crazy. Yeah. Just
well, welcome, gentlemen. Oh, we got 6 viewers going on. Awesome.
Nice.
Hello, everybody.
Half
Hello,
a dozen people saw that fucking train wreck of an intro.
Oh, man. I have like a little video that has the intro music and everything, and I totally screwed it up.
The
somehow.
camera's working.
No, apparently you don't.
Yeah. Well, I almost didn't make it at all because we couldn't get the camera working for a little bit there.
It would have been just you two.
Totally not my jam. Wait until the last second.
You're not the only ones to have. We used to do video conferencing. For some reason, they decided I needed to be the one setting that up. It was like, so if you don't get somebody new, I'm going to break every piece of electronic equipment in here so I don't have to do this anymore. And then I got to watch other people fumble with it. You know, like, and here you go. So I feel your pain, my friend.
Oh, young Benjamin is watching.
Young Benjamin? Your Benjamin?
My Benjamin, yes.
Oh.
Did this just become PG-13?
Oh, no.
13?
No.
If it were, what is it, NC-17?
Oh, yeah. Well, he's 17 now. He can see that.
What? How did that happen?
Well, he grew up a little. We got older, and you, my friend, have moved into the ancient category.
Yeah. We call it the sunsetting years.
Wow.
Are you going to tell the story about how you lost part of that thumb in the 8th Crusade?
It wasn't the 8th. It was the 7th. Common mistake.
It's hard to keep those ones straight.
What was Charlemagne like?
He was a pompous, overbearing ass.
With a name like that, how could you not be?
Yeah, he started out okay, but we just called him toilet paper. Charmin. It's not Charmin, it's Charlemagne. Yeah. Go ahead, Charmin.
Well, hey, before we get too deep into the conversations, which I'm sure we will have plenty of fun in this evening, I do want to make a mention real quick of our sponsor.
Who is our sponsor?
Our sponsor for tonight's podcast, the Berm Limits Live, is Midwest Industries.
Lovely people.
Some of the best people on earth.
They make candy, right?
I don't think they make candy.
No candy.
I think it's like the one thing they probably don't make. Yeah, Gary's pointing to something over his shoulder. I can't tell what it is exactly.
I can't see that.
They do make eye candy.
A lot of eye candy. One thing that they absolutely do make, and it's fitting for us to pimp it out tonight, is because we have the namesake of it here. They are the makers of the Tremis Dynamics signature rifle.
Wow.
Oh, is that what's behind? Yeah.
That's when you know that's when you're big time.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you have a rifle that's named after you.
Big time. One of the best rifles made, purpose-built for students out there, in my opinion. And Midwest Industries.
It's like the Les Paul of rifles.
But a Gibson Les Paul, not
also named after, you know.
So you said, wait a second. I want to clarify something. You said built for students. Is that built for shooting students?
No.
That's a different.
You got to clarify, dude. You don't know who's in the audience.
Depends on the bolt.
I wasn't even there.
Ooh, I forgot about that one. That was not where that was directed. No.
But it went there anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it happens.
So
Yeah.
anybody listening should definitely check out MidwestIndustriesInc.com. Makers of fine rifles, some of the best fighting rifles you could buy off the shelf. And
Best iron sights, in my opinion.
and the best iron sights, which we actually have right here.
Yes.
The Midwest Industries Combat Rifle Set, front and rear sights. My favorite iron sights.
Every rifle I own.
Oh, and I knocked them over. And
You
there's a
did.
muzzle device too, which I can't reach at the moment. But
That's right.
it's
Yeah.
over here.
Arms or what? What's up with that?
We are doing a giveaway tonight of those two items at 8 p.m.
And I'm not allowed to win them.
No, Max is not allowed to win. Nor is Gary, because he probably just has a bunch anyway.
So I'm still in.
Dave, you could be in.
Woohoo!
And as a matter of fact, anybody that wishes to jump in on the giveaway, let me see if I can do this here. Oh, look at that. It worked.
Damn.
So there is a link in the chat that you guys can sign up. There's a form you fill out. You have to be present at 8 p.m. for the drawing to win.
Well, otherwise, suck it.
Yeah, a big one.
Mm.
A whole bag of them. Oops, something went wrong. Try
Oh, no.
reloading the page. Uh-oh.
Oh, no. It's gone sideways.
Great. Things are just beautiful.
Yeah, I hear that if you buy one of them Tremis rifles, that the person that laid it out, inspected it, will teach you how to use it
That's true.
for free.
I've heard that as well. It does come with a free, your choice of either the 2-day dynamic carbine class or any 1-day class that uses a rifle.
Nice.
So any of the workshops or force on force or like day 3 vehicle, anything that there's a rifle in, you can take a 1-day class for free for buying the rifle or the 2-day dynamic carbine class.
So any jabroni could buy it and then show up, and you're going to show them how to use it.
Yep.
Nice.
Any jabroni.
Any jabroni.
Yeah. No background checks on our side.
Nope. They're unconstitutional.
Non-discriminatory.
Yes.
Well, my chat's not working.
Well,
However,
I can see.
you can see the chat.
All I can see is the chat from your channel.
Okay.
I don't have the ability to multi-channel.
Well, there's an overlay
Oh,
here.
there is an overlay.
Yeah.
I should make that
I did
bigger.
manage to turn the overlay on.
Can I turn it this way so you can see it better?
Oh, maybe.
Okay, hold on.
Anyway,
Oh, there we go. Look
All
at
right.
that technology.
yeah, we're way on top
Oh,
of it.
it's
everybody.
awesome.
All right, so we got everyone in here, and
Scott Wexler is here.
Scott, hello, sir.
Mr. Robert Ruggiero is here.
I saw Javier.
Javier, yes.
Yeah. Bunch of fine people in this chat this evening. Well, we did introduce you guys already, but why don't we take a moment
Mm.
and just kind of line up why you gentlemen are here, because there are some events coming up, and we want to tell everyone where you're from. So, Dave, why don't you go first and tell us a little bit about who you are, sir?
I thought that was pretty obvious. I'm Dave.
That's all the introduction needed.
I'm Dave Biggers. I've been in the industry for a long time now, and everybody says that I love the whole, I've been around guns my whole life. Well, when I say I've been around guns my whole life, that means I've been carrying one since I was 17 or 18. And since I'm in my 60s now, I have a couple of decades under my belt of actually doing that. I've always been into guns. I have a limited military background, and I kept trying to look for, and we'll get into this later as well when we start talking about the red zone. I was always interested in finding niches and things that I thought were being undertaught, underutilized. And I started off doing demos.
Mm-hmm.
Law enforcement, and I would look at the back of my my bay, and it's like, I know 4 of those dudes. Those are all trainers. Why are they watching me? It's like that bad. And then later on they're like, hey, do you mind if I use that? I'm like, hell no, dude. I didn't come up with it. I'm sure I saw it somewhere else. If it's good and you're teaching good people, share the love.
Yeah. And
my gun now is a gun that I am carrying.
Say that again.
Javier just put a deal on and said, "What is your carry gun now, Dave?" And I said,
Oh.
"It's the one that I am carrying."
My favorite
One
one.
that I have on me.
The one that I had, that's the best one.
And I usually, to be fair, I usually have a couple. But
Yep.
they change a bit. Right now, I work for a company called Ed Brown, so don't be surprised if you see me carrying 1911s.
Mm.
I do carry other stuff as well, but
Was that part of the employment contract? You had to like carry a 1911 every day?
no, I used 1911s for a long time, and then in fact I used to compete with them, and I had kind of maxed out, and I really wasn't getting any better, and I started running Glocks, and I got better.
Mm.
But I also don't think that if you're going to be in the instructing business, you better not fall in love with just one. You know, there's other stuff out there, and depending on what people are carrying and how they're using it, you need to be able to use that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I've carried stuff I don't particularly like in the past. I like 1911s, but I've carried Beretta 92s. Hell, I've carried single action revolvers because I took a 2-day class and I was quite comfortable with it. And I've carried J frames a bunch.
Mm.
Obviously, Glocks, even SIGs for a little while. Didn't particularly like double action, single action, but you get people in your class and that's what they've got. You need to know how to use them.
Very true. Very true.
I am a gun snob, but only in respect to they have to run.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Always.
care
Well,
how much they cost.
that's a good level of snobbery to have.
I don't care how much they cost. And you know what? I'll even give you a pass on they have to run all the time. You know what? That's not really true. You're going to periodically have bad batches of ammo. You're going to have a bad magazine. The gun's going to get dirty. It can't consistently have issues. But if it has an issue once in a blue moon, I don't care. And I usually just fix it and somebody tells me about it afterwards.
Right.
So, and I had a good friend of mine that used to be the range master out at Gunsight had a valid point, Ed Head. And Ed said, how many rounds do you need to be able to get through your gun before, you're worried about having problems with it? And people are like, oh, at least 500, at least 1,000. And Ed says, how much ammo you got on you? And the guy says, oh, I don't know, a couple magazines. He says, as long as it gets through all those, who cares? That's a valid point.
That's a valid point.
I like high round count guns. I mean, Gary and I both, when we worked at that other company, I never carried a gun that didn't have at least 1,000 rounds through it. Never did it. It's like, okay, I know this thing is broken in. Now we go back. Now we clean it. If it had malfunctions, I know what those are, and we fixed them. And so, yeah, they need to run a whole lot more often than they don't.
That's so true. So, Dave, let me ask you a question, sir. What have you got going up? Because the reason we wanted to get you here, especially in this timely manner, is because there seems to be an event coming up that you might be teaching.
He's teaching?
Right here in Pennsylvania.
What?
What?
Who came up with that crap?
Well, technically, Gary and I did when we sat at your table and made you put a class on the calendar.
Yeah,
so we can get you up here. I'm
very needy. I have to have people to reach out to me. Go, we really want your class. Are you sure you want my class? No, I'm doing a red zone at the what the heck is this thing called again?
It's at Red Rock Lodge in Sugarloaf, Pennsylvania.
The muster. I made notes earlier. The muster.
Mm-hmm.
And there will be a lot of really good instructors there. I'm just lucky to be one of many. I have the list, so we can go through that in a moment. Yeah, there you go. Teaching the red zone with a couple of additions. Yeah, so that is on August 4th and 5th, right? Yep. And it's a 2-day class. So correct me if I'm wrong, and Gary, chime in here too, because I know this is all kind of put through your website. So if you want to check it out, it should be popping up every now and then for anybody in the chat. But let me see if I can do one of these things. And I can bring up the chat and we'll see if that loads and I can put in the link. But there should be a link every 15 minutes that comes up for the Red Zone class. Oh, cool. On the Tremis Dynamics. Every 15 minutes? Oh, well, I didn't want to spam it, but first day is live fire, right? On the range. for the most part.
Yep.
It's you can take these in 2 different days. If you just
Right.
want to take a single day, the way that it's set up, you can. There will be some live fire both days, but primarily the first day will be mainly live fire. The second day will be mainly force on force.
And
there are
I
a
think-
couple of additions that I've stuck in. So
And the first day is, I think if you sign up for the Red Zone, you have the ability on the website to sign up to add on the second day. I think that's how it's set up.
I think that's how the Tremis Dynamics webmaster sucks. So that might be the only way they could make that work.
But if you need to work something out, I'm sure if you reach out to Dave or Gary, we can fit you in if you can only make it for one day. So just if you're interested, reach out to anybody on this chat, on this live stream, and I'm sure we can work with you.
hey, can I reply to a question by Robert here?
You sure can.
Robert, quite frankly, it's whatever I can get a hold of.
The carry ammo of choice.
I pissed off a bunch of people by saying that, but I threw so many $5 a round bullets into freaking banks doing demos that I got to the point where I really don't care. Now, I have been doing some stuff with Nosler. Nosler makes some very good ammo. Currently, they're only doing 45 and 9. But frankly, any of the good quality hollow points you're going to be good with. Actually, one of the things that we talk about in the class, I'm not counting on a hollow point to make it stay in the body.
Yeah.
So the main reasons for hollow points are 1, expansion. So you're hoping you get more tissue damage. And 2, you don't want it to leave the body. However, if it doesn't go deep enough, you don't get the things done that you need to do. And I do not trust the ballistic gelatin test enough to say, you know what, that round is going to stay in that dude's body. It's going to go exactly between 11 and 13 inches, do full expansion, and then it's going to remain in the body.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it will, maybe it won't.
You know what ballistic gel doesn't have in it?
Bones.
Anything.
Anything.
Bones.
Yeah.
Exactly right. That's one of my pet peeves
T-shirt.
about ballistic gelatin. Yeah, there's no clothing, there's no connective tissue, there's no bones. In fact, the ballistic gelatin is supposed to simulate a pig's ham. That's what it's supposed to. It's supposed to. It's supposed to make do as if it was a giant piece of muscle, because that's what you're shooting in. But unless you're Arnold Schwarzenegger, you happen to get him across a pec or something, there's not that much muscle. You're almost always going to run into spine. You're going to run into ligaments, tendons, and anybody.
There's stuff inside of there. There's hard things that can deflect bullets and make them not open perfectly, like pretty little flowers of death.
And anybody who has ever hunted more than once, you have no freaking clue what that bullet is going to do once it's in contact.
Yep.
You got no idea. Sometimes it goes 2 inches and makes a 90-degree turn and exits again. You know, they've had people literally get caught in the head, not on the head, went under the skin, circled, and went out the back. And then you had other ones. A dude gets shot in the toe, it blows his heart out. You don't know. It's every time is going to be different.
Right.
And expecting, well, I'm going to do one here and it's going to do that. Yeah, maybe it will, maybe it won't. Well, I'm a little opinionated on this too. So.
Well, this is why we love having you around.
Thought about it a while.
I was like, "Hey, we're gonna have a podcast. Do you want to join? Do you need prompts and questions and stuff?"
Nope.
And Dave's like, "No, I don't think I'll need any of that." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't either." we'll just turn the camera on and start talking.
I got a thing or two to say.
Yeah. Well, for a moment though, let's see if I can do this. Turn the big camera, the big screen, over to the man with the fresh haircut.
Wow.
Nice. Hello, sir.
And a lot of gray.
Yeah.
Marriage will do that to you.
Gary, you're obvious. If we had a regular guest on this channel, it would be you. I think this is your 3rd or 4th appearance on.
I was there for episode 1.
You sure were.
Gary, you're so awesome.
Also,
to have you.
Sitting beside one of my bros who is an awesome instructor, and I'm just the sidekick too, just like today.
Wow.
Oh, you're not referring to me. You were
No.
Yeah. It's right. He was referring to Jay.
Yeah. He was referring to Jay.
I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better situation to launch the podcast. Like we had Jay at the house.
Yes.
We had Gary at the house.
It's almost like they didn't have a choice. Even if they wanted one.
I was like, I set up a podcast studio just for my friends that happen to be here teaching for the week.
I'm pretty sure he was considering how can I wrestle Jay downstairs if need be.
Right. Well, that wasn't going to happen.
Well, you know.
But hello, sir, and welcome back.
Hello, good to be here, especially alongside some of my favorite people, and Max.
And even me.
And Max. That's what I say all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah, I put up with them. But so Dave mentioned it real quick, but I think what we really need to talk about is the big event that you have coming up, sir, which is...
That would be the 3rd annual All Hands Muster.
Number 3.
Woohoo!
Probably the final year that it will only be a single day.
Yeah.
Ooh, see how I teased everyone there with that?
Yeah, well, you're famous for ending things on a high note. So
Wait a second. It's only a single day?
Yep. The second day is we're going to do the red zone.
Oh.
I thought that took precedence.
I'm not even going to argue with that. That's
Odd, because you're so argumentative. I bottled you into a corner.
yeah.
no.
Don't tell him that there's a competing class the same day too.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I know that. I'm not worried about it. In fact, I'd probably take it if I wasn't doing my own. That's tough competition.
It's very tough.
I'm a little intimidated, but I'll get over it.
So yeah, August 3rd, the All Hands Muster. And we got it. Obviously, the red zone is happening right after it. Also, we have a class from Sunny right after it. And the Friday before, Jonathan Aldridge is doing a medical class, Iron Forge Consulting. And that same day is also a collaborative class with me and Sunny called The Crucible. Then the 3 days prior to that is a collaborative class with me and Sunny called The Science of Dynamic Violence. And the weekend before that, Jay Gibson of Preelectus Training and Andrew Schmreck, that's not how you pronounce it, of Combat Art Training are doing a collaborative Patrolling the Homestead class. So there is a literal assload of training
A lot of knowledge.
in those 8 days.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
So at the muster, which is August 3rd,
Yes.
Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
I put together a list, but the list keeps growing of awesome people each time I check it.
Who is actually presenting?
So Dave Biggers
will be presenting.
I'm
presenting right now. You just can't see it.
That's what she said.
Just don't pan the camera down, Dave. Garry Marr. Well, hopefully you'll get to present this year. You got forced out of your own muster last year because we ran out of time.
Sonny took all of it.
He will take all the time. Sonny Pazikis from Forward Training Concepts.
Mr. Zach Bush,
who's
in the chat, by the way.
Is he here?
He is here.
Hello, sir. Andrew Smersek from Combat Art Training.
Yep.
Lewis Karras.
Ooh.
Yep.
From Elcar.
Very nice.
Yeah,
we just added him a week ago.
Nice. Mr. Jay Gibson.
I wasn't allowed to actually guess. No? So Gary put out a or I think it was your live chat. You're like, Mike can't guess. He's not allowed. I'm like, but my superpower is the ability to hear a secret and then forget it right away. So I had no idea who we were referring to until someone's like Lewis. I'm like, yes, Lewis Karras is going to be there. Jay Gibson.
Perhaps change your superpower to being able to operate podcasts.
Ooh, low blow.
Yeah.
We were having trouble earlier. I'm trying to help.
Mr. Jerry Nuss.
Well, Jerry is now on the fence.
Oh no.
Fence.
Okay.
Oh no.
All right. Because
damn it.
I ran into Jerry.
You did.
At an airport.
Yes, I got a picture.
In Florida, randomly coming home from Disney.
Yes.
And I was like, hey man, you're coming to the muster, right? He's like, yeah, I'm I should come to that. I'm like, yes, you should. You absolutely should.
I literally had asked him like 30 seconds before he sent me the picture, like, we should talk to Jerry about coming on the podcast. And he's like, hey, look at who I found in the airport.
Look who I just talked to.
So Jerry is not hard committed, but I figure if we keep talking about him publicly, we'll shame him into committing.
We will.
I'm good with that.
We will
I'm
will
fine
it into
with doing
existence.
that.
I'll talk to his wife. We'll fix this.
Nice.
Yeah. Get the boss on
Get
the
the
phone.
boss.
Right.
And then Andrew Meisker.
Who's Andrew Meisker?
Andrew Meisker is a medical guy.
Yes,
who
he
was
is.
at the first.
Him and Jerry go back like 800 years.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've had Andrew in several classes. I know Andrew well.
Yep, he did an awesome medical seminar called Meisker's Magic of Medicine. I actually came up with the name with it because he didn't have a name, so that's what I came up with. And I think he's going to do a repeat of that because it's been 2 years because he did it at the first muster. So he's doing, I think he's just repeating that, the updated version of it at this one.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Am I missing anybody?
Absolutely. Jonathan Aldridge.
Oh, he is presenting.
He is presenting. He is
Excellent.
doing a hands-on medical block. He was talking about doing something out. He's going to do it out on the outside of the building so he can be messy. And he thought about doing something competitive and giving away some medical prizes. But I think he decided that he's just going to put them in like the random name drawing thing and not make people compete for like free tourniquets and shit like that.
So is there going to be stuff going on at the same time?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll
Yeah,
have
you're gonna have to
something
make
indoors
choices.
and outdoors for every block, and people will just a la carte pick which one they want to go to.
I fully expect to have an empty class of people that want to learn about radio.
Who are you competing? If you're competing, against,
Yeah, for knowing that.
it's like Sonny or you.
Oh yeah,
that's not
I'll
fair.
be there. I'll be teaching some stuff.
Yes, you will. And I just confirmed what block of instruction that Calvin Lim is teaching.
Oh,
Yeah.
Calvin.
So I almost feel like we're getting the band back together. I got Calvin and
well,
Dave and
Jerry.
Jay and me, Jerry, maybe.
We just need Jordan.
Yeah, if you get Jordan there, then it's a hat trick.
I think I tried. I don't know if he actually watches any of the things that I put on the internet, but I tried to convince him to come up and visit his brother. His brother Tyler lives up here in PA. I was like, you could come visit your family and then shoot on up for the muster.
There you go.
Again, with the public shaming until he acquiesces to my request.
It's not a bad strategy.
Let me see if I can do one of these things. I'll put a link to the muster in the chat.
Damn, look at you go.
Nice. So
Groove
It's
back.
going to be a packed.
it's going to be awesome.
That is awesome.
I love muster time. It's now becoming muster season.
Yeah. And I won't have to
muster
run a sales
season.
desk this
Yeah.
time.
What's that?
I won't have to be running a sales desk this time.
Oh, great. I can put you on the bulletin desk. No, I'm kidding.
Probably.
I'm going to make my wife do that.
Ooh. She'll somewhere anyway.
Yeah. She certainly looks a lot better than I do.
Yeah.
Scott Wexler wants to know how much ammo to bring.
All of it.
I'm going to say at this point we have 2 pistol blocks of instruction. And that's all. Not everyone has committed to what they're doing their block of instruction on. So I can't say for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But so I would say if you had, 150 rounds of pistol, you could do the pistol stuff for sure and have some bullets left over.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh, also, one of the outside things, Susquehanna Valley Firearms, who is giving away a suppressor to one lucky winner, not Dustin, but some other lucky winner.
Are we barring him from entering?
Yes.
He cannot enter the grand prize. They're bringing some cans with some rifles and pistols and some ammo, and they're going to let people do a suppressor demo, silencer demo.
We just got to do one of those last weekend.
Yes. Also shooting their ammo in their cans.
Yep. Those are good guys. I like them.
Well, anyone that lets you use their cans is a good person.
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's going to be a food truck, correct?
Yes. So that one will be the only one you have to pay additionally for. Fourth Taco will be there. like they were last year. Big hit. They were
food was
happy, and we were all happy.
Yes.
They will be there being the food vendor for the day.
Nice.
It's a great time. Anybody who is not like, if you're in the 100-mile radius of Pennsylvania, like, you should be at this event. Like, if you give a shit about training at all, like, it is the most bang for the buck that you could possibly get for knowledge now. And this year it's getting even bigger. Get in on the ground floor.
Yep.
Like, get there this year. Like, you want to be there. Trust me.
Yeah, it's going to be epic. Very much looking forward to it.
Same.
So yeah, check out the Trimus Dynamics muster. Oh. Is that your phone, Dave?
We're going to give away stuff. Last year we gave away about $3,000 worth of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I don't know where we stand this year. I haven't started adding stuff up. Not everyone has told me what they're sending, but we're giving away some stuff from Midwest Industries, tonight's sponsor.
Nice.
First Wave holsters, True North Concepts, Combat Art Training is sending some gear, bringing some gear to give away. Is Bulletin giving anything away?
Yeah, we'll be doing some sort of giveaway. Probably maybe a T-shirt, a couple T-shirts or something.
Right on. And
Maybe some
just
smoke grenades.
yesterday or day before yesterday, maybe Wednesday morning, I think we added excess sites. They are going to send some gift certificates for sites for folks.
Nice.
And Defiant Munitions is sending some stuff. Ammo Supply Warehouse is bringing some stuff. So yeah, more shit to give away. And we're getting Susquehanna Valley Farms is giving away a suppressor. I don't know what kind of suppressor.
Does it really matter?
Nope.
It's awesome. It's the best day ever. It's like Christmas.
And Definitive Training Solutions is giving away a free class and some federal flight control.
Oh, that flight control
Flight
is
control.
Yeah, that's the shit right there. I mean, Zach's classes are pretty good too.
Yeah, they're okay.
But
the main thing is the flight control.
If it's that good flight control, the game or the there's like a police load and there's like a game load. The police load apparently is the one that's the better one. I don't know. I took Zach's class last year and I can't remember all of them. The only thing I was a true flight control convert after that class.
There's like an 8-round flight control and a 9-round flight control, and I don't remember which one Zach says is the better, but the other one is like the second best round you can get. So it's win-win either way.
I mean, the demonstration he did for the class was like clear, convincing of that's the one.
Mm-hmm. All right, so where are we? We're at 9:34 here. So let me put another one of these in here, a giveaway link for anybody who might be listening that hasn't signed up yet for the giveaway. Make sure you go into the chat. If you're in here, click on that link, enter your full name and your email address. There were some entries that had, when I checked earlier, that just put a name and no email address. So I just deleted them because I don't know who Bangers is, or like,
why don't you know who that is?
McCoy.
McCoy.
Sounds like a Western.
It does.
Bangers and McCoy.
Maybe that's one guy. That's his name. Bangers McCoy.
And then, so we got that coming up at the 8:00 hour, and we'll be chatting until then. So, make sure anybody in the chat, feel free to ask questions as we're going along. We will check them as we're going. But for Dave, you and Gary, we on our podcast episodes, sometimes we like to bring a little bit of topical conversation.
Sometimes
some news stories. We got
an ointment.
It can be. It's like a salve, but for the mind.
Wow.
And the ears. And we have a couple of stories for this evening.
We do indeed.
And sometimes I do a little rundown of the whole thing, which I probably should have done at the very start of the podcast.
Well, we got distracted
by
failures and
Dave, you see what they're calling us? They're calling us failures.
No, I say failures and guests.
I didn't take it that way. I thought he was calling you a failure.
But I got a little script I'm going to read here right after we hear some intro music for our newscast. Here we go.
You ready?
I'm going to give it a try.
There we go.
For July 12th, 2024, these are your bulletin points. In the wake of disastrous performances and calls for withdrawal from friends throughout the entertainment and political worlds, President Biden puts himself in front of a press to try and convince the world that his cognitive abilities are still present. And the New Orleans Police Department disguises itself in the mask of a school, claiming the protected gun-free status of an educational facility, robbing any citizen within 1,000 feet of their freedoms, all while carrying guns. These stories, a discussion on fighting within the red zone with our special guests Garry Marr and Dave Biggers, and a live giveaway from our sponsors Midwest Industries tonight on the Burn Limits Podcast Live.
Well done.
I try. You know, that one was.
Yeah, it was good.
I've had better ones.
You have.
That sounds like it should have been like a half hour ago.
Yeah,
at
it
least.
should have been.
At least.
I had plans to do it, but I was like, you know what? We should probably introduce the guest first, and then Dave just went off.
It went off the rails from there.
20 minutes later, I realized that we hadn't gotten into it.
You
But
know, typically the co-host job.
yeah,
No.
The host on dude, I'm not making this up. I'm just telling you that part of your responsibility as the co-host. He's got to carry the show. You got to give him that nudge.
yeah.
Remember,
Gary knows.
Yeah.
So we got a couple of stories, gents. Please feel free to kind of chime in here. We're going to try and get these done by the 8 o'clock.
Good
and
luck with
that. Yeah, we'll do the.
Like you could stop us.
Yeah, we'll do the giveaway, and then we'll have a conversation for however much longer we want to go. But the first story is it's a fun one, an ongoing one. It is an election year, if you will.
Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah.
Is that what we're calling it?
This is,
An
I guess
election year.
there's apparently going to be an election soon.
It's gonna be something.
So did any of you guys get to see the President Biden press conference in the last day or so?
I saw highlights of it.
Yeah, it's
I
more
saw
like
some
low
memes.
light.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're memes.
Didn't really see a point.
Yeah.
Wait, that's all I needed. Oh my God.
I just I picked out a couple of the two best gaffes from it.
Mhm.
So he did like an hour press conference yesterday, right after the NATO summit or the NATO. Yeah, it's the NATO summit where all the NATO countries are coming together. And
Call it NATO, or did he mess up and call it something different?
oh, dude, if you didn't catch this one, there was a huge one in it, which was pretty crazy. So this is the best part. Very first question of the night of the press conference was. President Biden, what concerns do you have over VP Harris's ability to beat Trump? That was like part of the question. And he goes,
Wow.
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president if I didn't think she was qualified to be president. So let's start there. So totally thought, Trump was Harris.
Well, they didn't have the marionette strings going yet.
Which,
Like they hadn't quite,
he hadn't
gotten it going yet. So you have to give him a little bit.
I can explain this.
Oh, here we go.
He's been around politics for some time.
A little bit.
And way back when George Washington was running for president, the person who lost
Was the vice president.
VP.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's just remembering like his youth.
His youth, right? Well, his teen years.
Yeah.
I think that's a solid.
It is
a solid theory.
You could work in the press office. You probably do a better job than the person that's doing it now.
Well,
And you have a lot to do.
Do that.
Here's the crazier part, though.
busy.
So right before this summit or the press conference happened earlier in the day, he was introducing President Zelensky from Ukraine. And totally had a moment where he's like, doing the setup and saying that there's a war going on in Ukraine, so on and so forth. And then he goes, ladies and gentlemen, President Putin.
Well, it's the same thing, right? I mean, it's almost the same thing.
And so, but then he's like, not Putin. You're going to beat Putin.
Yes.
You're, and then Zelensky's like, no, I'm better than Putin. And so it was the most awkward thing you could ever imagine on the world stage.
Yet.
So then they asked him about it in the press conference, and he still got lost in thought about trying to respond to it, and couldn't remember which name he called who. So like it's this big jumbled mess of like, well, did you meet like what? How did you mess that up? And he goes, well, when I called him Putin, and I introduced Putin. I was like, oh wait, no, I introduced. And there were some other names too, and there wasn't other.
It literally is elder abuse at this point. Is all it is. It's elder abuse.
But the reason I wanted to bring this up, I thought it was super interesting, is that he's been under constant fire the last couple of weeks with like other Democrats, quote unquote friends that are literally just raking him over the coals and like
Good Morning America, because they truly are, a cutting edge news agency starts talking about how we need to replace the president. This is not a good sign.
So like people like George Clooney, arguably, or not even arguably, definitively the worst Batman. Just need to throw that out.
Worst everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
He put out an op-ed, I think it was yesterday, the day before, just like totally like calling for the withdrawal of Biden, and he's like high up in the political spheres, and
apparently so is Stephen King.
Yeah. Oh, really? Stephen King?
Apparently.
But like I saw things with like what's that terrible documentary guy who did like the bowling for Columbine thing?
Michael Moore.
There you go.
Yeah, he was calling for withdrawal too, and everyone's doing it. The one thing I wanted to end on, which I thought was the funniest part about it, is he's got some people like rooting for him too, just defending him to no end.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who's been like the most like one of the most vocal supporters of Biden?
His wife.
Maybe her. I mean, she was doing stuff. I mean, somebody that's obviously near and dear to the Pennsylvania world.
God. The sloth himself,
Senator John Fetterman, who
pride of Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
what sweatshirt was he wearing?
It was Carhartt, like gray.
Shocking.
Well, retards have to stick together.
Yeah. And the whole defense was like, one bad debate doesn't define a campaign. I'm like, that shouldn't be your slogan, bro. Like,
I know we messed up and we ruined the country, and it's only been 4 years. We'll get it right in the next 4. God damn.
Yeah. So fun times.
Yeah, it's
fun time. I think it's super interesting to see how this political shit is going this year. It's going to get spicy. All the more reason to train, everybody.
Yes.
I love the fact that the Dems hate Trump, and I get that. Everything he stands for, they hate. However, looking beyond that, the best the Dems could come up with, are those two.
Yeah.
Those are the best of everybody you've got. Now, granted, you got a lot of losers, but those are the best. Those are your standard bearers. And the fact that, you guys yeah. I actually had that go off in the bank one time, and by the time the rest of the line finished the song for me. Yeah. So, yeah, it's pretty.
Well, when that plays, you can't reach for your phone to turn it off because people will think you're drawing a gun.
Yeah, especially with that music going off.
They all backed up. It was kind of cool. What? Here, just because I raise my shirt and you'll stop.
You're right. Oh, Lord.
What's your story, Max?
Story number 2. So, New Orleans officials designate police station as a school and expand gun-free zones. So, apparently, they were trying to, before open carry or permitless carry came into effect on July 4th, they were trying to basically turn tourist areas into gun-free zones. They failed. So, the 8th District Police Station has been designated as a vocational school. And by turning a working police station into a VOTEC, now everything within 1,000 feet radius of the school is a gun-free zone, including more than 5 blocks of Bourbon Street and an international tourist destination. So they failed trying to just objectively say this tourist area is a gun-free zone. So they used the local police precinct to push it through. And apparently in Louisiana, if you have a gun violation, it's like state prison and hard labor.
Oh, they still have hard labor camps.
Like it's not like
Louisiana.
Yeah. So hard labor and you go to jail.
I'm willing to bet you that's not the case if you're a career criminal.
I'm sure it's not.
Most places, that's how. Well, we'll waive this.
Yeah.
And the other thing, the really, really stupid part about this, unless they have metal detectors, how many friggin' people are on Bourbon Street?
Yes.
Dude, you could have nukes out there, and it would not surprise you. What's that? Well, that's my tiny container of VX. I
Exactly.
always travel with it.
And you probably would be easier to get past if they probably would let you go first with some horrible contagion than with a gun.
Yeah.
So it's just a way for them to expand the gun-free zones. The Attorney General apparently is against it, and they cited a bunch of reasons why it shouldn't be made that way. But basically, they're just trying to go around a decision that got shot down.
It's
So-
crazy.
Yeah.
Does that
Like
mean
they're-
cops? So none of the cops get to carry at that station? Do they all?
Oh no, the cops.
Oh, I'm sure there's a cutout.
They don't leave their guns at home.
No. And what vocation are they teaching? And there's no registered classes. There's no registered instructors for any of these classes. Like it completely has no substance
Yeah,
behind it
they
whatsoever.
literally put a badge on the outside of the door that says
We're a school now.
this is now an educational facility.
Yeah,
So good stuff.
more silliness.
Yep.
Oh, look at that. We got a layout where we all fit.
Oh my God.
Fit perfectly in it. Look at that. All right. So we have we've gotten through our stories.
How long did it take you to get that? What, like, I'm close to an hour, isn't it? I mean, I'm glad you got the lineup like this, but did you consider perhaps doing that ahead of time? Maybe just a thought.
Wow, he is harsh.
Yeah.
My dude, you're going to be watching me on the red zone so bad. 'Cause
Yeah.
wait a minute. Wait a
I
minute.
did just tell Dave the other day, I'm like, hey man, whatever I can do to help you, I'm in. Like, you need someone to be your bitch for the day on the range, I'll do it. You know, stapling targets, whatever I can do to make sure
Are
that
you gonna
I'm
tell Sonny the
supporting
same
you,
thing?
my friend, that's coming up here.
Are you going to offer Sonny the same?
Sure.
Offer to be his bitch for his classes?
Well, that means a little bit different. Like, I don't want to be Sonny's Uki for a whole class. That just sounds terrible.
Painful for sure.
But no, it's like, I pledged my undying support for Dave, and he just,
Nice.
this is also coming from the guy who the last time I saw him, he's like, you need to tell me how to start my own podcast. And I'm going to need your help and come up with a plan for me to start that podcast. I was like, okay.
If it seems to me that somebody gave you something.
Oh, yeah.
If we're going to talk all that, then let's play the other side too a little bit here. A certain measure agree, and I do like the layout now.
That's the important part. Is he proves the layout.
That actually looks good. It took long enough, but it looks good.
Damn, he's just on you.
Brutal.
I'm enjoying the fuck out of this.
He did. So the last time when we went down to Dave's, he did like hand me a gift. Like it wasn't out of nowhere. I made a small joke because
he was whining.
Whining
about how he's abused. Yeah.
Maybe it could be
by
interpreted.
Gary.
Yeah.
Abused
Well,
by Gary. Is that what he was?
it was a
about?
long trip.
Okay.
We were on it was all the way down to Florida and back, and Gary did say things to me that should not be said to another man. No, I'm kidding. But,
You got me a ticket.
wait, what?
Yep.
How did I get you a ticket?
You distracted me while I was driving through that red light.
It's all the co-host's fault, right?
Yes,
like that's
always
that's
the
how it
co-host's
runs. Yeah, I totally distracted him.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Got it.
So we were at Dave's house, and apparently every time Gary walks in that place, like, Dave hands him a gun.
How dare you, sir?
Yeah,
How dare you?
and like gifts just happen. I'm sitting there going like,
Where's mine?
it's fine. I'm the new guy. It's okay. It's cool. And Dave goes, well, we're gonna have to fix that, and just walks away and comes back, and now I have a semi-automatic shotgun.
Nice.
Yeah. So Dave's I can't give Dave too much shit, and that's why I pledge my undying,
So
support for him.
all it took was a semi-automatic shotgun to.
Yep. Yeah. I'm a cheap Dave.
He's a cheap
Like,
date.
yeah.
I was about to say.
I'm pretty, I'll bend over backwards.
Yeah, that shotgun is Zach approved. He ran a bunch of rounds through that. And by the way, I love his comment. He's mean like Tim, except you can understand what he says. Man, get a rope.
So what brand is this shotgun that Zach approved?
Is it Tysus?
I don't know who brings that in.
Yeah.
I don't know if all of them are, but that particular one he ran it through a couple of classes.
Nice.
So
I mean, there's a million different clones and Turkish ones that are floating around.
yeah, no, it's a Turkish shotgun.
Yeah.
I don't remember. They went through a bunch of different models, and I got to the point where I quit paying attention.
Yeah, Jody. I think he's filmed like at least half a dozen different ones, saying this one has run fine, this one has run fine, this one has run fine, because he's got to hook up with PSA, so he's getting all those things, and he's had nothing but success with them.
I'd never heard of it, but I've been looking for a semi-auto gun for since I took Zach's class and I got smoked by people with semi-auto guns in the dueling tree.
Like that wasn't even close.
I was pretty damn good with a pump gun. Like probably one of the better ones in the class, but man, like even somebody who's just casually shooting with the semi-auto was just smoking me. I'm like, all right, maybe there's something to having a semi-automatic shotgun. I guess I kind of want one.
I'm still not spending $2,000 on the Mark II version.
Well, that's
of the
why
1301.
That's why somehow magically the world, like the universe, said, you know what, you need to go to Dave's house, and a gift appeared out of nowhere to just make me so happy. Like I took that thing home the next weekend. I pulled out some flight control.
You put flight control through it?
Oh yeah, of course. Because I was like, that's what I'm gonna like. That's what I'm likely gonna need to pattern out of it. It's gonna be the best pattern, likely, and it worked great. It's solid, like 25-yard gun.
Nice.
Yeah. Like until the pattern started opening up some.
I beat Tim Morris at a dueling tree. He was using a 1301.
You shouldn't beat older people like that. It's mean.
Mossberg 590 Mariner, and I crushed him using a pump, and he was using a 1301. I of course loaded one round in the shotgun, and when it ran dry, I dropped it and drew a pistol.
As you should.
Bing, 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 bing.
And he was like, "No,
you cheated."
Why did you waste the time with that first round?
No, I wanted to say I tried, and during the malfunction process, transitioned.
Have either one of you seen the ridiculous golden shotgun that the judge that they painted up for him yet? It is something to behold. He still hasn't shot it on video yet.
Who are you talking about?
So Lewis, it was a collaboration between Lewis and Joey and I think Jay. And there's this version of the judge that has like a 14-inch barrel or something ridiculous. So they got a Marlin rail and put it on it. They put a red dot on it and they painted it gold. And they were trying to get Tim to shoot it on video. And of course they were going to load Dragon's Breath into it, for the video shoot. But as far as I know, it still hasn't happened.
Probably for the better.
Maybe.
All right, you guys talk amongst yourselves. I'm putting the giveaway together.
He's putting the giveaway together.
Oh.
So just for people tuning in right now, with the giveaway, if you've entered correctly, and there's a link if you scroll down, you have to be here at 8:00 for the giveaway during the announcement. And we're giving away a set of Midwest Industry combat sights, and I believe it's a brake muzzle device. I don't think it's a flash hider, right?
Oh.
I think it's a brake.
Yeah, we got the Midwest
2-chamber brake.
Yeah, AR muzzle brake, 2-chamber brake.
So
and a set of combat sights.
Yeah, and the
are
combat
you giving them
sights
both
really
to the
are.
same guy, or is it a first and second prize? How you doing?
Oh, you know what?
Good point.
I didn't even consider that. I think our guests should decide.
I agree.
Like in the comment box, they should all speak up right now. Forever.
No, I'm going to do a wheel of names thing.
Yep.
But what do you think? Should we do 2 separate drawings, one for each?
Yeah.
Spread it out.
I like that.
You could, if you want, break up the front and rear sights.
And the tool. And the tool.
Give a,
You get a sight tool.
you win an Allen wrench.
A sight tool in a Ziploc baggie will be shipped directly to you, and an empty monster can.
Oh, maybe you can get the red Loctite too.
Ooh.
Is it stainless? Is it stainless or carbon steel? Because I only use stainless.
Oh, okay. All right. Look, it worked this time.
He's got a bunch of names.
Yeah,
Is my wife in there?
We got like 30 names.
She's such a slacker. She not only is not on the live, but she didn't enter. God damn it.
We had I got a text message from a pal who said, "Is the link private or is my YouTube fucked up?" So I sent him the link via text so that he hopefully got in on it.
And Scott, you don't get to make any decisions since you're not coming to the muster. Sorry.
I thought didn't he say he want like how much ammo to bring?
Yeah, I think he was just.
Oh, is he just being helpful?
Yes, he was being helpful.
He lives close enough to fucking come to the muster.
He's
sure
a
does.
slacker. He's just a slacker.
You know what I'm going to do this time? Actually write down who wins what, because the last time I forgot.
Well,
Did you have to go back and
remembered.
watch the whole thing to find out who won?
No, no. Well, Max knew who won,
I knew
so
who
I just
won.
gave him we gave away a rail last time, and I just gave it to Max and said, "Hey, you know who that is? Send it to
and
them."
it was sent to him.
All right.
It was actually the same rail that I won last year at the muster.
Was it a Midwest 12 and a half inch rail or something like that? All right, we're gonna do the muzzle brake first.
I agree.
It's
Or
all-
the sight tool. I still like the idea of bringing
Well, you
the
know,
sight
we
tool
got 3 minutes, so I'm sure we can
do.
vamp for 3 minutes. And there's only 13 people in here, and there's way more in the giveaway. So I'm betting
Right.
we're probably gonna have some multiple spins.
Maybe.
We might.
Well, you know, there's like a 30-second delay from when you say the person's name live on air before you would see them typing, say, "I'm here, I'm here."
It's true.
You got to give them whenever you pick the name, we'll chat for a minute and give them a chance to fucking.
No, they
Pick
have
it up.
to. They have to know. They have
Yeah,
to know
you
right
must
away.
know.
They have to know 30 seconds before you do.
Hey, Scott, try harder.
Yeah.
Try harder. Sir.
Oh,
He's trying.
he's trying.
Wah, wah.
Well, didn't the great Yoda say, "Do
There
or
is
do
no
not"?
try. There's just do.
There is no
Mm.
try. Turtle Castell.
Yeah, he checked in a little earlier.
Oh, hello, sir. Give a little shout out to Turtle and Iron Pig Armament down
You
in
could
Florida.
you could drop an ad.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, every time I see Turtle, I have to tell people how awesome he is.
He is fantastic.
And he's one of the Bulletin Channel sponsors.
He has an epic chair. Like his folding chair is freaking ridiculous. It's like a hammock setup.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
Is it?
Yes.
All right.
He had it when we saw him at Dynamic Carbine.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Is it like my chair?
I don't know.
Or is it a
I've never
different-
seen your chair. It's like
Oh.
it's this whole assembly thing that comes out, and it hangs from either side. It's
Oh,
awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Sounds elaborate.
It is.
All right, we're 1 minute away. I have no idea if it worked.
Well,
Lance Corporal Faust. Oh, Faust. There is a Faust in here.
He got in.
He got in.
I
Yeah.
sent him. He's the one I sent the link. That's fucking Fausty.
Yep. Yep. Nate effing Fausty Faust.
Yep.
Still annoyed at my wife.
Not to just heap too much love on people, but that Nate guy, I like him too. He really he's pretty okay.
You should get rid of the.
He has an awesome dog, and he's okay too.
Yeah. He also got us hooked up in a spot that's been really awesome
Nice.
to go do some night shooting stuff.
Oh, the one you were talking about.
It's been amazing. All right. Okay. So, well, thank you, Robert Ruggiero, for telling us there's about a 15-second delay.
That means that Mike has the ability to edit a lot.
Well, yeah, I could just kill the feed.
could.
No, I think it'll probably still get out there. So don't
Probably.
say the things that you
I'm
normally
not
say.
saying anything. I've been
You
very
should see
good.
the shit I have to cut out of our.
Oh my
our
God.
edits. Like federally indictable shit.
Only kind of.
All right, here we go. We're gonna let me bring up the wheel of names. I got I got everyone situated here.
There's a drill company on there.
That's a guy's porn name.
Yeah,
okay, we're gonna
got it.
Okay, so let me
It
go
says
to
is it a
restream.
half-inch drill or
Maximum penetration drilling.
Share screen.
all 3 inches?
Here we go. All right, Chrome tab. Wheel of names. There we go.
Look at him
Share
go.
that.
Look at you go.
Look at me go.
God damn. Like a professional.
And then I can turn it on.
Nice. And look at that. That's just majestic.
All right.
Now they know you can't cheat.
Technical wizard.
Yeah.
There's a Toyota ad too. That's awesome.
That's the best part of it, maybe. We are not giving away Toyotas, people, just so you understand.
Toyota's a sponsor? That's crazy.
I'm in the big time, Dave.
Well, we would so shill for Toyota. We do it anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
We shill for Monster all the time.
Yes. They refuse to sponsor us.
They don't
Come on.
refuse. We
call
can't
it
say they refuse. They haven't told us no yet.
I'm going to call it refusing.
Mm.
Makes you feel
Because
better.
you're using the crappy monsters. You need to go with white. White is right.
Okay,
Yeah.
Kyle.
No. No, sir.
The rehabs are the
No,
best.
it's not. My daughter drinks that stuff.
All right. So we got the wheel of names here. We've got 30 some odd names. And
Drum roll, please.
Well, which one are we doing first? Are we
What?
doing the muzzle break first?
I was going to say an empty can of Monster.
Well, here's the
Mr.
question:
Buckbag.
if the person that wins, do they get the win? Are they put back in for the second prize?
He's got to complicate shit.
God damn.
Because
He really
because if-
knows how to game
He
it. You know,
if they
this is why I
aren't,
keep Gary
then we
around.
Start with the big one because nobody wants to win the lesser value one and have that like remove them from the higher value one.
He's right. He's right. We should do the bigger one first.
As a guy who gave away about $3,500 worth of shit last year, I had to figure all that out too. So I get it.
He's good at giving things away. Terrible at making money for himself, but
Well,
really
yeah.
good at.
I think we should talk more about this.
All right, here we go. We're spinning it
He's going to
for
click it.
the sites, the Midwest Industries combat sites.
It's going around and around and around, landing on Mr. Paul Haddock.
Paul Haddock.
Congratulations.
So we're gonna have about 15 seconds. We'll see if there's a Paul Haddock in here.
So what did Paul win?
He won the Midwest Industries combat site set.
Here you go.
So
This
I
one
I was up at Midwest when those were still in the prototype phase, and I got showed them and had to keep quiet about them for months and months, and it ate at me because I wanted them so bad.
And if you win them, the rules are you then have to build a rifle.
Yeah, you can't put
Yep.
them on an
You
existing
can't
rifle.
put
It
them on
has
an
to go on a
existing
new one.
rifle. And the only rifle that really should wear them is the Tremis Dynamics Midwest. It comes with them, but
That
still.
one
That
comes with
comes
it.
with them, yeah.
Yeah, that way you can have two sets of backups.
Zeroed for different ranges.
Ooh.
Well, you can put some on the side.
Oh, yeah. You got to get some of those 45-degree angle mounts for them.
You
Mhm,
can do one on each side. You can
Right.
have different ranges. It's like I got
Nice.
100-yard zero, I got the 25, and I never remember what this one is. So,
Well, I don't see any comments from Mr. Paul Haddock.
Me
so
neither.
How long are we going to give him?
Oh,
We did tell him to be present at 8 p.m.
yeah, he's not here. Has anyone seen someone comment
I have not seen the name pop
Paul
up yet.
Haddock?
I have not.
Well, his name's like a fish. Anyway, it's like Haddock.
Haddock.
No, it's not like Haddock. It is Haddock.
It is Haddock.
Well, I'd say we give it another, say,
10 seconds.
10 seconds. 10, 9,
You don't have to count it.
8.
That's annoying.
7,
Dude, what if that guy lives in Whitefish, Montana?
Oh, that would
4, 3, 2. One.
Jessica Bognier.
You know what button to push.
All right. Oh yeah, I got a button for it. Sorry, Paul. We've got all the effects here.
Lieutenant Corporal, yes, they do zero backup sites, some people.
Okay, we're gonna remove Paul.
Oh, no. Goodbye, Mr.
and
Paul.
Let's see what happens next.
We're rolling.
Man, I hope this person's here. This might be a long night.
It might be.
Oh!
Not him.
Either one of
Not him. Mr. Scott Wexler.
Scott Wexler's here.
He just has to come to the muster to pick him up.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
They will be there waiting for
It'll
you.
They will
be
not
here
be
waiting
shipped.
for you.
Yeah, they will only be available for you at the Tremis Dynamics muster on August 3rd.
Yes. Congratulations, Mr. Wexler.
Jessica Bognier.
But
is
you
here.
still have to
We didn't call your
comment.
name, Jessica. Sorry.
Yeah. You still have to comment, Scott, though. You can't
Yeah.
not comment. You have to say thank you.
Or something of that
Something.
nature.
Yeah, you just have to acknowledge
Acknowledge.
that you're here, Scott, still.
Because you could be just
That would be tragic if he
It
was
would
here
be.
and then left when he heard
Well-
another name, and then
or appropriate. Oh,
there he
he
is.
is.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Congrats, sir.
You now have to build another rifle.
Yep.
Not
Okay.
that you needed an excuse.
So, Scott, you won the Midwest Industries combat rifle set, the best damn iron sights known to man.
Yes.
Whew.
Bless you.
All right.
I'm not through yet. Don't
Yeah, we
rush
got one left.
Yeah,
We
one
got
left.
We got the Midwest Industries
2-chamber break.
2-chamber break. Here we go. Last one. We'll remove Scott from that one. He can't win again. Like that bastard Dustin.
Yes, damn him. And the winner is Mr. Mr. Ken.
Ken
Wayne-
Wayne.
Congratulations. So we'll give him a minute or so to comment that he's here, and he's.
I doubt it. I haven't seen the name.
doubt it too. I think we're spinning again, but we could be wrong.
Sounds like a fake name to me.
It does. And hello, Central Coast dude. That's an interesting. Which coast?
Yeah, the central one. Would that be like the
Central one.
Mississippi?
It's got to be the Mississippi.
You would
right?
think. Or Floribama. What do they call that area down there? Floribama or Alabama?
Florida Georgia line.
Florida Georgia line, whatever that is.
I don't know.
The Panhandle.
The Mississippi Delta.
There you go. And
Central. I guess Central Coast could be like the Gulf Coast, right?
it could, I would assume, it
Mm.
could be Central West Coast, but that's just California. No one wants to say they're from there.
Mm. All right, another 5 seconds.
Yep.
For Mr. Ken. Weigh in on
Wainapa.
Wanyampa.
I don't know.
No,
Nope.
California stand.
I'm
Nope.
sorry.
All right, sorry, Ken.
And I'm sorry to Central Coast dude that he has to deal with living in California.
Come on, give us somebody here.
And the winner is
Oh.
Mr. Daryl Sadler.
Daryl Sadler.
I'm not clapping until we know he's actually.
I know. This
Uh,
is a terrible idea. Whose idea was this?
I believe
to
it
do
might
live
have been
giveaways?
the individual to my right.
with the
could be.
stipulation that they have to be here. Let me at least write down Scott Wexler as the winner for the sites. Yes, I agree, Jessica. Congrats to whoever this person is that I have not seen.
Yes. So
Daryl
the
Sadler.
whole stipulation of having to be here for the giveaway seems to have gone out.
Listen,
the window.
I don't get it right every time. All right, Jesus.
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, if they're not sitting in, they're not eligible.
If they're
So
not.
you look at the people who are actually on the right side of the screen that shows
Mhm,
everybody
mhm.
who's currently on there. If they're not in that list,
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great if I could weed those out. The problem is that I had a form that has all the names in it.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not based off of who's actually here. It's based off of who put their name into the form.
Yes.
Well, maybe it ought to be.
So we'll be here a while.
Yeah. All right.
Potentially. Removing
Sorry.
out Mr. Daryl Sadler.
Daryl, you're gone. Sorry, buddy.
It's gonna wind up being Butch.
We're gonna keep going until one of them Bognier
Oh,
guys.
that was close.
can tell us
Oh,
ladies-
ho! The people that we know
Nothing like giving this away to somebody who
Mm.
owns their own rifle company.
exactly. Hey, maybe he'll be able to resell it to somebody else on their rifle.
That's funny. Good for Turtle.
Go Turtle.
Could be a better person.
But
Congratulations. He's here.
I
I'm
know
telling
he's
you,
here.
he's here.
I know he's
He's-
here. I understand.
I don't want
here.
to play this stupid game anymore.
He's done.
Stay
That's
tuned
it.
for a new rule set at the next giveaway.
Yeah, it changes every time.
Yes.
Yes, he's here. Thank
Yay,
you,
nice.
Turtle.
Congrats, Turtle.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you again for my trigger. It is awesome.
Yeah. All right, we're done with this.
Yes.
Thing.
Thank God.
That's the wrong format.
My soul died a little bit there.
Hold on.
How about you?
There we go.
There we go.
It automatically goes back to that one when
Nice.
you hit the. the hide button. So
we have some questions for our guests. I
Yeah.
believe, don't we?
we sure do. But first, before that, just one last thank you to Midwest Industries.
Yes.
Thank you guys for sharing all this stuff with people across they're awesome. They support the training industry.
Just the fact that they would entertain the idea of in any way sponsoring this hot mess that we have makes them awesome people.
Yeah. Obviously, we live up to the
Yes.
to the challenge of really delivering on Midwest quality podcasting. No, there's not
really.
No.
We kind of belly up to the bar.
Yeah, we're really
like a resort drunk.
with the people that have sponsored the podcast. We're really hitting above our weight class when it comes to sponsors.
Yes.
Maybe we can get Ed Brown as a sponsor.
Maybe get Tremis as a sponsor. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Or that elusive guy who runs First Wave Holsters, or is he just he's
well, it's like
highbrow?
multiple guys. They're kind of spread around the country. They're kind of secretive.
Yeah, understood.
Yeah.
I can talk to one of them for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, okay. So we're through the giveaway. Thank you guys for putting up with that. It only took 12 agonizing minutes to figure out how
if he had to edit this, it would be fun to watch.
You have no idea. It's there's a high level.
Lose a little bit of his soul each time.
All of it. All of the soul is
all
gone.
at the same time. Okay, so we have some questions for our illustrious guests.
Illustrious.
That was a good word. So, Mr. Biggers, what is the red zone? Or did we already kind of cover this a little bit?
I don't think we did cover what
is the red zone. Because I've never taken the class. I actually never had the pleasure of meeting you in person. So what is the red zone?
It's nice meeting you, man.
It's very nice meeting you over video.
So the red zone is a class.
Got it.
Well said.
Very clear, succinct, right to the point.
It is all about being sure of your target and what is beyond it.
Okay.
That's what it's all about. It's once again, I have little to no faith that the round is going to stay in the body that it's fired at. And so you need to make very, very certain that if you do have a pass through, you're not going to pop somebody that does not need to get shot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to jump here on one, because you have what's the most important in a gunfight, and none of those is correct. It's not speed, accuracy, safety, or tactics. No, it's not. And you'll understand when I say this. It's decision making.
Right.
The red zone is 90% about thought processes and maybe 10% shooting. But the vast majority of it is having a grasp of what's going on around you and making sure that you do the right thing. And it's almost like the Hippocratic Oath. Number one is do no harm. Well, you know what? If you go walking into something and you shoot somebody who doesn't need to get shot, you're on the railroad to hell right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And particularly if you start getting it, and I am old, as we have pointed out before. I hold women and children in higher regard than I do men. That's a fact. The particularly younger man, you start getting to a certain age, you're kind of on your own, dude. But women and kids, and older people, even older than me, I think it behooves us to look out for them. That is part of our job as being men.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but no, that's what it is. It's all about looking at your angles. Do you need to move in order to make sure that you have a good shot? And the other thing is a big one is, and I think it's kind of funny. I mentioned earlier, I started off doing demos for big dot sights. So everything was fast, moving, low light, right? Big course sights, good enough. And it's ironic now that as time has progressed and things have moved on, in this particular class, accuracy is paramount, because there's people all over the place.
Yeah.
There's people all over the place. And I've got a bunch of mannequin heads. I also have a couple of infants that look like infants. And Gary had to restrain me one time because I threatened to send a dude home if he shot the infant, which I still think, you know what? If you shoot one of those, you're probably going to go home.
Yeah.
You're obviously missing something, but they look like infants.
Mm-hmm.
I I mean, they look like infants, but no, that's I do think there are more people that are doing this now, but when I first started that class, I was looking for, I didn't want to do what everybody else was doing. There's some really great instructors out there that are teaching firearms. Why should I compete with them? And I tried to find a niche that I did not think was being properly covered. There was some, and don't get me wrong, Jim Cruz used to do a thing where he had a bunch of balloons that were helium, and he would move those around. And I think that was probably the first time that I looked at something and went, "Holy crap! All right, that's
interesting."
Because it's not just standing there shooting. It's like, all right, are there going to be repercussions?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I know with Sonny's like core drill and his classes, a lot of that is about no shoot targets and how they're set up on angles compared to your shoot target. And he sets them up in such a way that, like, with the obstacles you have to move through, like, you have to be thinking about what you're shooting, how you're shooting, while you're completely and utterly exhausted. Which was the most challenging thing that I've ever done as far as drills.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Dave, did the term red zone exist? Like, is that a term? Like, did you coin it?
I did, but it's been used in other places. In fact, somebody else is trying to do a class calling it that. But as far as I know, I think mine was the first class. I call it the red zone, not because of a football deal, but it's more like, you got the different color codes for danger. And for the most part, we're working up close on this stuff because you have to be able to make the shot that I need you to make. There's not head shots, there's brain shots. There's not torso shots, there's spine, heart, or lungs. And that's what you need to be concentrating on. And depending on, we also get a little bit into, I call it tactical anatomy. It's like, here's your location. This is what stuff does. And here's how, if you're turned different degrees, where exactly is the heart in relationship to the body? We all know about, it's more or less upper center chest, right? Slightly offsided, that has more to do with the shape of the heart. However, okay, if you turn completely sideways, where the hell is the heart in relation to your body?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And if you think about it, it's farther forward than you would normally, or than I thought, because you think about how big your damn spinal column is, and your heart is forward of your spinal column, and it is behind your sternum. There's not a whole lot of room in there.
Right.
And roughly a fist size, roughly. But where is that, and where are you going to get it? And if you're shooting, if you're going transfixing somebody from, say, they're 8 o'clock, where exactly is this? Where am I going to put the round so I can get the desired result? And where is that round going if it passes through them?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the.
So for someone interested in taking a class, like, what do you think they should have taken before walking into your class? Like, what proficiency should they have?
They have to know how to run a gun.
Okay.
I don't have time to teach that.
Right.
You need to know how to draw the gun. You need to know how to shoot the gun. You need to know how to clear malfunctions. You need to be able to move around it in a safe fashion. And by that, watching where the hell your muzzle is.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care about the muzzle up or muzzle down unless it is dictated by your terrain. Like if you're in an apartment complex and you're walking underneath the balcony, obviously I don't want muzzle up. The other side of that is if I'm on that balcony and I got people below me, I don't want muzzle down. And part of it is just figuring out, okay, what do I have to do right now to keep this working? And the other thing is we deal with moving through crowds with a gun. And what do you do? How are you doing it?
Mm-hmm.
I actually do cover muzzle strikes, but the prime reason I cover muzzle strikes, it initially started out to get people out of my way that don't necessarily need to be shot.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to get a lot of people hurt unless they move somewhere else. And then that also turned into, if think about a crowd coming out of a sporting event, right? So there are literally people stacked as they come moving. All right, if one of those dudes needs to be removed from that equation, how the hell do you do that? How do you do that? Where is a safe place to take shot? Well, if you knock them on their ass and stand over them,
It's
I've got a backdrop now.
Yeah.
That's not my first choice. But in a lot of cases you can go to a knee and do a low to high. But once again, what is in their background? And so it kind of started out like that. The who knows? Maybe muzzle strike some dude that needs to be shot, but you can't put a round into him right there. No, take him off his feet. You're already in a better position. But no, like I said, 90% of this is thinking. It's where am I going to move? How am I going to move there? What is my angle on the shot? And can I make this shot? Because that's the other thing. There's a whole lot of this. It's all about here's what you've got to do. You need to hit a tee box if you're going to do a brain shot, right? And how close do I have to be in order to make that shot? To make it. No doubts. And it's like, all you got to do is hit that dude right there. That's what you need to do. And people will screw themselves out of that shot. They get their ego involved or there's other stuff going on. And it's like, you don't understand. How many times do I have to tell you this dude's got a kill switch? And if he hits that button, he's going to die. You're going to die. Everybody's going to die. So why the hell would you stand back here? You're not going to impress me. You want to impress me, make the shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't impress me by trying to make the shot from 10 yards away. And it's frustrating because to an extent, I feel like I'm a failure as an instructor when that's the final drill and they mess themselves up. But the only positive, I'm hoping that sticks with them. And then, they'll start thinking about it. But, and you know what? Most of us really don't work close range that much.
Right.
It's like, you ever seen somebody try to shoot a snake on the ground? Right? It's
Not in person now.
It's 2 or 3 feet from you.
Yeah.
Well, they'll miss it because they don't know what the holdoff is. They got no clue. And there's rounds just going everywhere. And it's like, when you get really, really tight on people and you don't have those huge targets, you got to change your attitude a little bit. But.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of training too doesn't emphasize on accuracy either.
Right. Well, when I took the class, it's still I still tell people it's one of my absolute favorite classes that I've ever taken.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Because and it's a very specific reason for it. It completely focused on something that I recognized. Not before I took the class. Admittedly, I took the class because I'm like, everyone says that Dave's awesome. And I had met you as one of my instructors in other classes. I'm like, yeah, I want to learn more from this guy. And it was more of the attraction to personality type stuff, right? Where we do that a lot with people in this industry. And like, hey, I like that guy. I'll take whatever I can from them.
Well, I am a sexy beast. So.
you have a magnetic personality, Dave.
I got some kind of personality.
But it wasn't until I was in the class that I realized just how valuable it was to me, because it was really exposing this hole, this gap in my training that I'd never thought of before. And there's a few trainers that have done that for me. Sonny is one of them too, in terms of like, you don't realize that you've had a blind spot for something until it's been exposed to you.
Yeah.
And that Rule 4 thing is like, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, and you too, Gary, of like, there's so many things that we do from a flat range perspective that we do as almost necessities to training that like make us blind to what we have available, like what we or not what we have available, but like they make us blind to some of those training scars that we do by not thinking about targets as 3-dimensional. As we never think about what's behind the cardboard. Right.
Agreed.
Yeah. But I guess the question I have, and I think I'd know the answer to it at this point, being that we've been talking about it so much. Would you say that of the 4 main firearm safety rules, would Rule 4 be the one that we probably ignore the most?
For sure.
I'd say that and trigger.
Trigger?
I probably a little bit more on Rule 4. you can practice enough where if you're not shooting, you can keep your finger off the trigger. But it's very, very easy to get stuck in different. You're talking about holes that you realized you had in your training. I went through a similar thing. First time I did force on force, I realized what a huge hole I had because I'd never done that before. And then the other was the first time that I was moving around vehicles with a firearm. And I would have sworn to you that I had muzzle awareness down pat. And I did, right until I started trying to get in and out of a pickup. And then the muzzle started going places. And it's like, yep, there's another hole. But yeah, I think for the most part, that's it. But I think it followed very closely with trigger, finger on the trigger.
I would say for sure that Rule 4 is the most overlooked. And I think it's because most training happens on a range with a berm. Sometimes there's like 2 berms or 3 berms, and everything beyond the cardboard is where you want the bullet to go. Like you're in an area that's essentially sterile for Rule 4. So it's not something that most instructors have to look at. So they don't address it because now you need to make believe or find an instructor who can come up with something like the red zone so that you can illustrate it while you have a gun in your hand. Because most ranges, it's like, yep, the world, everything's a backdrop. You're safe. Just shoot the cardboard.
Yeah.
So it's not that I don't think that people neglect it because they don't think it's important. I don't think most facilities are set up to focus on it.
That's true.
It's a fair point.
Yeah, I mean, and I think the other thing too, like, you know, like most of the classes that not all the classes, but I'll mention it again. Like when FAFO, like when Gary jumped up on the berm, I was like, well, this has never happened before. There's never been a person standing near where I'm going to be shooting, and now there's an instructor who's, yes, 3 feet away from where I'm shooting, but it's like, oh fuck. So, you know, that was something that was new for me that it was never introduced before. You know, so that was 100%.
Well, I'm glad I got to play a part in that. I did not realize that was a new experience for you.
Oh,
at
you
that
scared
time.
the fuck out of me.
There were some other folks there I had never met, and I just showed up at the class like late, parked the truck, and Jay's running people through some drills, and I just walked up and jumped up between the targets.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. This should be interesting, and everything was fine. But like for me, that was completely new.
Yeah, and the funny part is, like, for some of us, I didn't even bat an eye. Like, that's just what we do. Like,
yeah.
As a matter of fact, I love those moments where, like, and it's not to say anything's unsafe. It's just new, right? Yeah. It's completely like it's a stimulus that you've never had before. Was it during the red zone, Gary, that you saw Dave do something similar, and you're like, oh, well now.
Well, he did do something similar. He did a downrange drill. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone out here. That I went, well, I've never seen that before, and I feel completely like overwhelmed with my inability to hang with that. And I better make up something new before the end of this fucking day if I want to respect my own manhood. I did come up with something new that made me feel like I could now hang with Dave again, but. Yeah, he did something I had not seen, and I have seen a lot of downrange drills prior to that.
Sure, that would be after this.
Yeah, I remember that day, like, because and you know what, I think the fun of it is like that moment of being challenged.
Yeah,
like when I saw your reaction at the Prelectus class, I was like, oh yeah. You had one of those moments.
Yes.
Like, I remember those. Like, there are moments that stick in my brain of like, oh, I need to perform. Yeah. Like, and it's not something that I can't do. I just didn't realize I needed to, like, now I have context of why.
Yeah.
And it clicks. It clicks in your brain. I think that's what your class does a great job of doing, Dave, in terms of the red zone and like, if I could put it into a single word, it's context, because that's what we don't do for gunfighting on flat ranges. We don't have fights in context, but they exist exclusively in context in the real world.
Always.
where are you? What is the backstop? Who's around?
Yeah.
Like, what's the environment? Like, what are you shooting? Like, all of that has, you know, we eliminate those when we go into quote unquote training for simplicity and safety.
Yep.
But we need to think beyond those to say, well, we can't always be simple and we can't always be safe.
Yep.
Right. Or safety is relative. It's kind of like, oh, I could be really safe. Well, are you going to train things into your brain that make you then less safe over time? Let me ask you a question. I know we didn't really go into this much, but if Rule 4 is the impetus of the red zone, and like, hey, I don't see a lot of people doing that. What's the next thing? Like, what's another gap or another thing that we don't see trainers like addressing or digging into much? I'm curious what you guys think.
Well, if I knew that, I'd already have a class.
Maybe we'll come up with one while you're up here.
Well, I do have a couple ideas. We're going to try one or two things that I have not done before in the red zone. There will be a limited introduction of both shotgun and ARs, extremely limited, but I think it will address some of the things that we're talking about, where we'll just have to see. Gary and I have a long love-hate relationship with shotguns. And I normally have little to no use for them unless you're using them as a breaching gun, or if you're in a war or a prison riot. And by the way, there's some excellent shotgun instructors. You got, Zach is phenomenal.
He sure is.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Tim is Tim. As a friend of mine pointed out to me, there are probably more shotguns in private citizens' hands than anything else. So am I just going to poo-poo those people and they don't get to play because all they have is a shotgun? And so I've got an idea. Gary and I came up with an idea of some ways to kind of work around that and to still make that a little more generally usable. And same thing with ARs. We got a couple ideas we've been working with. So be interesting to see how that comes. But now, and if somebody does see a gap out there, hell, let us know. We're pretty smart. One of us will come up with something, and we're not shy. All of this, if it's good training does not belong to anybody.
Right.
It's good training. Good training belongs to as long as it's the right people. Yeah, I said the right people. By that, I mean good.
How dare you?
Good guys. If you're a thug, no need to apply, or you can come be one of the target holders.
We need you to hold this target right here. Don't worry, you'll be fine. We're going to shoot on angles. You'll be okay.
For God's sakes, don't move.
Yeah, whatever you do.
I'll never hit it if you don't move.
I mean, I think like the de-escalation class, I had a little snippet of it during Shooter Fighter Matrix with Sonny. And, the little piece of it that I had, I think that is one of those classes that, like, before you even go to a fighting pistol or whatever pistol one course you decide to choose, I think that is a class you should have to take. Like, that should be a prerequisite. Like, you should take this class because it's almost more important to know when you shouldn't be shooting somebody, or how you're getting even to the position of when you are into a conflict. Like, how did you get there?
I think it's severely underserved.
Yeah, it's
the training to not get into the fight in the first place. Whether it's de-escalation or like escapology or things that you can do to avoid conflict.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, what can you do to prevent yourself from having to, kill this individual?
See, that's why I pay the $200 tax stamp.
I didn't know that was a clear pass, that like, now that you have this, you can just indiscriminately shoot that fucker.
Well, no, that is.
So I'm sorry, that's the FBI badge and the ATF badge.
When people say to me, if you don't believe in the rightness of this process, like why don't you just drill a third hole and cut the barrel down and build a can and say fuck the system and let the chips fall where they may. And I'm like, because I'm willing to pay $200 to not have to shoot people on my porch.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, good point.
So that's how I stay out of that fight. I pay
Yeah.
$200.
There you go.
It's like a $200 insurance policy for your dog.
Exactly. Who I like better than most everyone I've met.
Pretty much, yeah.
I haven't met your dog, and I still probably like him most than most people I've met.
He's a bit mouthy.
I heard.
Like he licks a lot.
I heard.
Yeah, if he likes
I
you.
like Gary.
Yeah.
He's sitting right outside the door right now. He's leaning up against the door. I can see his shadow.
Is he huffing under the door? Like,
no, he's got used to. If he hears me in here talking, he's probably thinking it's Wednesday again.
He's the only thing he's going to smell for the next month after the muster is soap, because Andrew's going to be there.
Oh yeah.
So all he's going to smell is going to be soap.
Your dog's going to be nose blind.
Well, he's kind of used to that at this point, because we have a bunch of Princess Fiona's soap in the house, and I have gear of Andrew's.
Which,
and,
of course,
smells like
soap.
Hang on 1 second. I got to grab something. I'll be right
Okay.
back.
yeah. Make sure that anyone watching this, make sure that you tell Andrew how much you love that his gear smells like soap. He loves hearing it. Really, email him.
I have
call
thought
him.
he has the best smelling gear of anybody in the industry.
Yes. Yes, I said many times I have an ankle rig, and even 9 months after wearing it through sweat and grime, still smells like soap.
Mm.
I got some Cordura gear here that like I have to leave in the basement because it can't like into the rest of the house, and I would love to be able to soap scent that thing right back up so I could
Good
have
stuff.
it indoors.
Mm. All right, I got a couple of rapid fire questions
Here we go.
that we can wrap up with this evening, because we've been going for like an hour and a half.
I haven't seen any questions in chat. Like, guys, if you have any questions, like, now would be the time to type them out.
Mm. All of the 9 people that are
Yes,
still
all
listening.
9 people that are still watching.
Mhm.
And I would like to thank Zach for this.
Oh, I have. Yeah.
Oh, you
If
got a
you
handicap
know-
placard.
If you know, you know.
I would grab mine, but it's upstairs.
Yeah, there you go.
I charged mine. I may have helped with some graphics on that, and I
Good. Thank you.
No,
I charged my usual fee of
nothing.
I just get a shirt.
Gratitude.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
It's
And thanks
worked
again.
out. It's worked out. I have.
He'll
I have
be
a wardrobe of shirts.
he'll be wearing a shirt soon that says Max's Path on it.
Yeah.
Again.
Well, the only so I love Zach, but when he picks materials for shirts, like I think he could use a little help.
Yes.
Well, Zach's cheap. He is one of the cheapest people I've ever met, and he picks the shirt material that is the cheapest, and that's usually the burlap.
Burlap,
Burlap,
is
nice.
pretty much falls under the, like, if there was a
Well, he
it
wants
reminds me of Boy Scouts of America tent material, like
he
canvas.
wants to exfoliate your skin with the shirt, so it's a dual action
Yeah.
Well,
I'm pretty
Zach,
sure that-
product.
Zach spent a few years in the Marine Corps, so
Mm.
probably he was recalling those large issued tents and was like, "That'd make a good shirt."
Oh yeah, TJ says cool shirt club.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's what what. It's one of the unspoken about things in this community that we have is like there's a lot of shirt sharing. Like, hey, I wear one of his shirts and he wears one of my shirts, and it's kind of a thing.
If you saw how disgusting my bulletin hat is, you would know that it gets worn all. It is rancid at this point.
I just got an idea for a shirt, and TJ was the inspiration.
Nice.
So TJ, who is an awesome guitar player and pretty good at that singing thing and bass, and I don't know if he actually plays the drums or he programs them or whatever, but quite the musician. But he plays in some pretty hardcore death metal-y stuff, and they have all those creepy, spooky logos. I think I want to do a Tremis Dynamic shirt and one of those logos that just looks like
Roots.
You can't pick out the lettering. You got to really look at it for 5 seconds to figure out what it says.
It looks like a dilapidated old leather couch.
Yes.
Yeah. There's
like all the
say
cracks.
something. And so that's going to be a shirt. So my graphics guy should take note. That's going to be on the agenda.
Ooh, I may have to reach out to my heavy metal guy, who is TJ, to say, hey, who do you use for these types of logos? Because that might be even a little outside my wheelhouse.
I need to get my graphics guy to work on a Cthulhu themed shirt, but he kind of poo-hooed on it when he saw it.
All of your graphics guys is terrible.
He's horrible.
He's just the worst.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't charge anything.
He's never available.
He's never available. He's works. Yay.
Yeah, you get what you pay for.
Yeah, well.
True. You certainly get what you pay for when it comes to the podcast.
Damn straight.
The quality of tonight's
especially the co-host. I mean, you get what you pay for with the co-host.
Exactly. So question for you guys. Questions. What's next? Like I what I like to do is with everybody that comes on the podcast, we all revolve around the training world, right? We all learn, we're all students first. That's how we all kind of got into this. So is there anything on your list? Anything that you're looking to make happen, a class that you've had on there for forever, or something that you're just super looking forward to coming up this year or next year or whenever you can make it happen?
Yes, there is something. No, I can't say anything about it yet.
No?
Nope.
Oh, well, okay. You can't say anything about it.
Nothing?
I know some of the classes that now I'm intrigued.
The muster.
That's what's next.
For me. That was you. That's the next thing. I'm really looking forward to it. I've been meaning to get up there in a while, and it'll be good to see a lot of old friends and make some new ones.
Yeah.
Agreed.
What about you? What are you looking forward to coming up? Anything coming up class-wise you're excited for?
I am. So somebody laid an opportunity on my doorstep last week. I mean, so Andrew, our good friend at Combat Art Training, he contacted me out of the blue, said, "Hey, I have a gift for you, and you're going to go take an ECQC class from Craig Douglas." And
South Nart.
Yeah, man, like,
you need to give him a really good rim job. Like, you owe him like some major.
Well, I mean, I'm about as experienced at giving those as I am at podcasting, so we'll see how the quality of that turns out. And that makes it seem like I've done it a couple of times.
Yeah, it does.
I thought we were getting through this, and then he went there.
Yeah, well,
No, so Andrew, through some contacts of his, had an opportunity, and he couldn't use it himself. So he's like, "Hey, who can I, give this to?" And I gotta say, like, aside from the training opportunity, which has been like ECQC has been the top of my list for like the last 4 years, and I just haven't been able to link up the schedule with the opportunity. And
they usually sell out in about 10 minutes.
Yep. So I'm going up to Massachusetts in September. Don't know anybody else taking the class, but screw it. I'll take the 4-hour drive. I'll go up to Massachusetts. I'll make new friends and get to meet Craig. Hopefully, I don't know if he's the only one that teaches the class or who else is in his cadre, but it's like ShivWorks has been
when in September.
It's the weekend after. Oh, it's during Dynamic Week, so it conflicts with. I won't be at Dynamic Week this year, unfortunately. But so I'm super looking forward to that, and just really thankful for. I've had met a lot of awesome people in this world that are super generous and that have just enriched my life. So like it's a story of both of being able to do something.
Andrew
awesome.
is a good dude.
Yeah. He's all right.
He's okay.
Watch your ass driving through Massachusetts.
Yeah. That's on my mind for sure. But yeah. So How about you? What do you got? What's your?
I'm really looking forward to messing with you guys during patrolling the homestead. That's gonna be fun.
But you're not a student in that. Well, you're a student.
No, I'm going to be messing with you guys, so it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. And there's no ammo, so I can't get shot, so that'll be good times. And also really looking forward to de-escalation class.
Are you taking that one?
Yeah.
Okay,
and I'm
awesome.
trying to figure out a way to get down to Florida in the fall because Zach is going to be there. Sonny is going to be there. And if I can get down there even just to take a couple classes and just be in the same pool of people, that'll be fantastic. So
it's the best part of what we do.
Oh, 100%. It's the people in the context.
Yep.
Because we clearly aren't making bazillions of dollars doing any of this.
Some of us make negative. Okay, so we've gone an hour and 45 minutes. I appreciate you guys giving us your time and hanging out with us tonight, telling us about the opportunities we have coming up. I cannot wait for the muster.
It's gonna be
and
awesome.
For the red zone. I'm going to be there both days. I've made that a priority. Can't wait to see other people experience it for the first time because I'm really I think it's definitely one of those I'll call it even like a capstone class where it's one of those classes that really changes your perspective on things. But is there anything you guys would like to kind of talk about before we end this thing tonight? Anything you want to promote? Any parting words?
Well, it's kind of, we already touched on it a little bit earlier, but you're either coming to the muster in August or you're an un-American piece of shit.
I could not agree more.
Communist. I think that's what they call it.
Can we send gifts to communists? Because if that's the case, we can't send.
Well, they have to. You can send them. You can send them gifts, but they have to share them with everyone.
Okay, gotcha.
I think that's how it works.
Okay.
Dave, is it past your bedtime?
I think we talk about safety too much. I think safety is overplayed. So I'm not worried about you being safe. You need to be dangerous.
I like it.
Hell yeah. Max, anything for you, sir?
No, it was wonderful to meet you, even if it's through Zoom, Mr. Biggers. And good to see you as always, Gary. And I am really looking forward to the muster. It is going to be very difficult. Thank you, fuckers, for splitting between people and having to make us make decisions on who we're going to watch. That's just fantastic.
Well, if you want to play the safe bet, you can do all of the hands-on stuff outside because we're going to film all the seminars.
Oh,
however,
thank you for the cheat code.
If you're doing it, like if someone's doing a seminar, like Calvin is going to, he's going to do something inside where he talks. We're going to film it and give it to Calvin. If he never shares it, then you still can't get it.
So we have to rely on them posting the stuff. So
yeah, whatever and now they may say to me, "Hey, can you post this? Because I don't really have a place to do it," and I will. But Dave's block of instruction is Dave's, and if we have film of it, it's up to Dave what we do with it.
Yeah, nice.
What am I doing? Because I asked you if I could do something, I forgot. What is it? What the hell am I doing?
I thought you were going to give us the history of gunpowder from your perspective.
Oh, you know what? I just remembered. Yeah, I'm doing Tales of Gary's Mom.
I think wasn't it something about finding the first flint for the flintlock? How they figured out that it sparked.
You were so funny. I'm so glad you're helping me because I need a designated bad guy who's going to get shot a lot.
Nice.
And, I wondered who I was going to talk into that. Now I no longer have to worry about it. Take care of. Thank you.
Yeah. He did agree to be your range bitch.
Just saying
that was already established.
If you choose me to be a designated bad guy, that's saying something for the instructor because, it's a pretty big target.
It's smaller than it used to be, though. It's definitely smaller than it used to be.
You'd want the small, fast guy to really, highlight how good of an instructor you are.
Hey, don't tell me how to teach my class. Teach your own. Why don't you do your own class on how to do maybe podcast?
Ooh. Yeah, I think I'm a few years away from that one. I think I got to put some more time in.
Ask him about his audio if you really want to get him going.
Dude, overall, this has been really, really good. You had a little problem at the start. That happens all the time, but you worked through it, and it was fine.
Yeah,
that's what she said.
It was fine.
The live ones are tough because it's just you can't go back and fix anything.
Right. You can never go back.
You just roll with it. You try and figure it out on the fly,
Yeah.
and then you make everyone bored while you're spinning a wheel.
Exactly.
All right, gentlemen. Well, thank you all for joining. To all the listeners out there, thank you for sticking with us and listening to some awesome conversation. But with that, we'd love to hear from you. So please come join us over at the Bulletin Community on Facebook if you're not already there. That's where we have a lot of discussions, things like this podcast, or any different types of topics on a weekly basis. And you can come talk about these gentlemen because we love talking about upcoming classes and things that people like doing. And yeah, that's pretty much the big thing. Interact with us. If you are interested and you have a range and a facility where you are you want to host trainers, please reach out to either of the guys that you'd like to bring out there or myself. I'm happy to help coordinate things like that. The more we can get people out there training, the better the world becomes. So
100%.
With that, everybody, thank you. We'll catch you next time on the Berm Limits podcast, and get smart, stay ready,